My wife and I are adopting our foster daughter, and my in-laws are furious.
Well, they can mind their own beeswax.
My wife and I have two biological teenage sons, one older and one younger than our foster daughter. We have been fostering kids for many years, where the goal was always to reunify the kids with their parents, which has happened successfully each time until now. By the way, this comes from YouFinPin. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So 2 years ago, we took in our foster daughter, now mid-teens. She had been through a lot and was labeled a troubled kid and not adoptable. I won't go into details, but the issue in the matter is that there are images of her going around amongst a certain community from before we took her in. We were informed by authorities about all of this before, so it's not like this came as surprise after we got to know her. I'm not going to lie, it has not been easy. Our families have seen us struggle, but almost everyone has been super supportive. The first 5 to 6 months were the hardest. She didn't trust us. She was angry at the world, rightfully so. And then one random night, I got up in the middle of the night and unintentionally ended up scaring her crapless, and she had a full-blown panic attack. She was okay after a little while, but it was like something clicked for her that night. It was like she realized that we were on her side, and we watched her change from this angry and sad little girl to the ambitious young teenager we know today. It started with her telling us thank you for everything we did, small things like driving her to practice, and she said it with a smile on her face. It was so amazing to see her feeling better and not so lonely anymore. From there, everything changed. She made new friends and got a lot closer to my sons, especially the older one. Her grades went from failing multiple classes to getting straight A's, not because we were nagging her, but because she wanted to in terms of the grades. Each member of our household has developed a good and strong relationship with her, and the love we have for this girl cannot be put into words. We've reached that cosmic connection. She still struggles with a few things, which is totally fair after all she's been through, but she's working on it, and we are supporting her in every way we can. Overall, she's doing amazing. She's so strong, and I'm very proud of her. We made the decision to fight the system to change their verdict from not adoptable to available for conditional adoption because we want to commit to her for life. We want to adopt her. Last month, we got the call and they changed their verdict, and we sent in our papers that they were already ready, and things are looking very promising. The thing is, we haven't told her yet. She knows that she's now adoptable, but we haven't asked her if she wants us to officially adopt her yet. My wife and I have talked to our sons about it, and they are fully on board. We talked to my parents, our brothers and sisters, and their spouses. All of them have a good relationship with our daughter, and every single one of them is so supportive of our decision and willing to fully welcome our daughter into our family. Then there is the wife's parents. Mother-in-law hasn't been awful, I guess, but maybe it's because I'm comparing what she said to what father-in-law said. We told them about our plan and asked them about their opinion. Mother-in-law asked if we were sure our daughter doesn't quite fit in. My wife and I didn't understand at all, since our daughter has a very similar personality as we and our sons do. But it turns out she's concerned about the visual side of it all. She's clearly not our biological child, and people will start asking questions. The thing is, my wife, myself, and our sons are very tall. Our daughter is not. She's tiny compared to us and has a similar eye color, but not the exact same. All 5 of us have the same skin tone and colored and textured hair. Not that I think it matters at all, but the stupidity of it is unreal. Apart from height, she could pass as our biological daughter, so I'm starting to think this is a lame excuse for something else. I told her that people would ask questions no matter what, because even if our daughter was a spitting image of my wife, it's not like she suddenly gave birth to a teenager 2 years ago. And the answer to any question is very simple.
We adopted
She's
her.
adopted.
Yeah.
Ta-da. It's not like it could ever become a secret now, so I don't get it. Mother-in-law didn't say much after that, but it was very clear she was not on board. Father-in-law hadn't said anything, but he didn't seem excited at all. I asked for his opinion, and he just stared at us for a minute, and then he said, "Don't do this to yourself and our family." It's safe to say I was confused, but I had no idea what to say. After a few more seconds, he went off. He started talking about their family name and didn't want that to be ruined by a little or, and what would people think if they saw these images floating around on the internet. I was stunned. My wife couldn't find any words either and started crying before she just left. I didn't say a word while father-in-law finished ranting, but 1,000 thoughts went through my head. Eventually, he stopped talking, and I still had trouble finding any words to say. I just told him, "You are sick." And I left too. My wife is destroyed after hearing what her father thinks about our daughter. We have no idea how they know about these images, as we haven't told anyone about it.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna say, how does he know? Icky. I would not want him.
How
I would
does
not want him
he
around any children.
No. I'm 100% certain my wife didn't tell them, as their relationship is not that great. My wife is closer to my mother than her own, so that wouldn't make sense. We have tried to hide this from the kids since this happened, but my older son sensed something was very wrong and asked about it. I told him our conversation with the in-laws about adopting our daughter didn't go very well and they weren't supportive. He wanted to know why. I told him I couldn't tell him, that it was serious, and promised to talk to him about it in a few years when he's an adult. And I assured him that our daughter didn't do anything wrong, our plans haven't changed, and that it's father-in-law who is being unreasonable. My son told me that our daughter told him a few months ago that she didn't think the in-laws liked her very much, especially father-in-law. This happened 2 days ago, and we haven't spoken to them since. I'm not sure I even want to try, to be honest. For me, this is going to be no contact worthy. I want nothing to do with them. I for sure
I think after those
think
comments,
no contact.
I think you cannot come. Like, this isn't a thing that you can talk about.
No.
This isn't a thing that you can communicate and find some resolution. He made disgusting comments about a child and has shown that he is not worthy of being around you, or definitely not your daughter.
My wife is in pieces and has mentioned that she doesn't want them in her life after this. This has tainted our adoption experience for sure. I'm afraid, though, that if we piss off father-in-law even more, that he will start talking to our other family about these images. I do realize he will look like a pig in everyone's eyes, but I would like to spare our daughter from everyone knowing about what's out there. I usually talk to my mother about heavy stuff in life, but I cannot talk to her about this without feeling like I'm exposing my daughter by telling my mother more than I want to for my daughter's sake. Internet strangers, I have no idea what to do from here. How do I go about the situation with father-in-law without creating more mess than absolutely necessary for my daughter? There is an edit, but I feel like regardless of what the father-in-law will do if you cut him out, he's going to do more harm by having him in. So I don't know if you can control what he does, but I think keep him far from your family and far from your daughter.
Well, I think it's just like, you don't necessarily have to have a conversation with him where you're like, I'm never going to see you. And maybe that, pisses him off more. You can just stop talking.
Yeah, just stop talking.
Just like, don't.
I would go very low contact and never bring your daughter around him. Edit to add, just to be very clear. There's no doubt in our minds that we still want to ask our daughters for permission to adopt her. Our relationship with our daughter will not change no matter what father-in-law does or does not do. I realized from the first couple of comments that it became unclear after the father-in-law incident. Sorry about that. By the way, you should never be sorry about listening to full episodes of this podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's another relevant update 4 hours later, actually. So I'm glad to see I'm not the only one possibly / hopefully reading too much into this. I think you have verified I'm not crazy. Wife and I had a brief talk after I posted and decided to talk to her brothers and sisters first about father-in-law's comments. It'll be a hard conversation, but it needs to happen. Before I could get to it, my wife told me she wants to report the situation with her father knowing about the images of our daughter. Right now, we don't know what that looks like, but it has simply not been possible for him to gain access to this knowledge legally. There is a culprit for sure, and we will leave that to authorities for now. Thank you for giving me a reality check, and thank you for your encouragement. We need it right now. And that is where that story ends.